winning so often that when they did lose, they had no idea what to do after those losses. And you could see them unravel, right? It happens, especially when they just have group stage dominance. We saw it in Arlington. We saw it last year in TI. It feels like the one thing that they were lacking was the ability to bounce back from really bad losses. So this could be the setting and the stage that gives them that ability. But it could also be the setting that they could just completely get squashed in. Who knows?
And one thing to notice is teams that are coming out from Group A and from Group B, because I think a lot of people did assume that Group A had stronger teams. Like you had this Psg Lgd, you had EG, even RNG, Boom Esports, OG, but they kind of formed their own meta in Group A, and I think this is one of the reasons why the other teams from Group B are doing much better, because they played against what seems to be the better teams at this international. So that could have some impact.
I got a theory on that. And this actually goes back to what Effie was saying about LGD. So Group A has 3 ties on average. Group B had 4.2 ties on average. And so I think there's been a huge storyline this TI of teams going through the fire and the flames, sometimes flaming coming from Reddit, of course, and then coming out stronger. And to what Effie was saying, LGD, they are used to being the Goliaths. They're used to being the guys that are supposed to win. And I honestly think it'll do wonders for their mental state to just be the guys people are like, oh, what's going on with them? They could lose, to feel that for once. Like Puppy was saying in the interview, if you win 10 games in a row, if you lose 10 games in a row, you got a problem. If you win 10 games in a row in scrims, you got a problem. You want to go through the fire and flames so you can learn.
And actually, if Psg Lgd are able to bounce back after that game 1 and take this series, I would credit that to their loss versus Team Spirit, because when they lost versus Spirit in Arlington, that was probably one of the most noticeable kind of unravelings or tilts that we as a spectator were able to see, because they went from so completely convincing in their victories in game 1 to just slowly with every game degrading a little bit until in that last game, in that game 4 where Spirit beat them, they didn't feel like themselves at all. So maybe from that series they took these lessons and they applied these lessons, and we might be able to see it here today. I hope we do. I hope we get a 3-game series.
I hope so too. And now that we have a little bit more time, I want to talk about the man on our screen right now and compare him to the man on our screen right now as well. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the mid laners, because nothing to say, we saw him on the Pango previous game and we saw C-Smile, Chris Luck on the Storm Spirit. 2 very different heroes. We saw Chris Luck go in hard time and time again. It was a little bit harder to do for Nothing to Say, but I want to talk about the different styles of mid lane they play, Jenkins. How do you analyze their style of play, would you say?
It depends on the game. I feel like Nothing to Say is more of a farming style mid laner, whereas Chris Luck he just gets in your face. He's very active.
Very active indeed. We're going to find out what they're going to play up against each other, because it's drafting time. Game 2.
Psg Lgd versus Beastcoast. Game 2.
Game 2, take a deep breath, everyone. This is a big one. Elimination on the line for a lot of people. The tournament favorites in Psg Lgd. Now, of course, after the tournament has begun, we have slightly adjusted our perception of who is the top dog, and it still is very strange to see potentially Psg Lgd being left behind on top 8 this TI. Beastcoast, however, they are looking hot, they are looking ready, and they are looking quite unstoppable, especially with the fighting style they had in that first game. We got a little bit of an adaptation, of course, in the draft as expected. First pick going away to Beastcoast means Beastcoast removes the Visage. We got Undying removed as well, and that meant that Tiny is left in the pool, as well as Marcy. Interesting to note, in both of those first picks together with the hero we talked about during the first game, a very popular one for both teams, this time for Psg Lgd. Leshrac?
Leshrac is an insane hero right now, just abusing the power of the Bloodstone for himself. It's his own item, and yeah, we need to see if there's going to be an immediate response here from the Beastcoast. because they know that this Leshrac, let me just double check, because I don't remember.
83% win rate.
Okay, and Fabian was not playing it, and this is a good response. This is, you know, one of the classic ones where Nyx Assassin is very easy setup to counter Leshrac, burn his mana, make his life really miserable pre-BKB.
But we saw in Secret's series yesterday that they did pick Leshrac into Nyx Assassin confidently, and it worked out in such a spectacular way.
It was offlane Leshrac, and they also needed a counter to Slark, so it's a bit different. But yeah, it still takes a lot of confidence. Venomancer ban, that's an interesting one.
Very early on as well.
But about the Leshrac versus Nyx thing, so Nyx is definitely a nuisance and a way to catch him, but Leshrac has become the kind of hero where you pick him to try to snowball a lane advantage or just push a few towers, and if he can do that for your team, then he's probably ticked off like 3 of the boxes that you want him to do already.
Yeah, he's the hero.
Yeah, and then in terms of counterpicks specific to this hero right now, you can just itemize it for it, which is the beauty of the hero, because I feel what he offers a team right now in terms of team fighting, in terms of DPS output, in terms of objective taking, far outweigh the ability of getting counterpicked. And I think that picking him in the first phase is probably what most teams from this point onwards in TI are going to look to do.
I agree, and going back to Lacos's point as well, it's all in the Bloodstone. Like, this item is so powerful, not only from mid, but it's a really nice build-up for an offlaner as well. The small items that build into it all feel really good to get individually and make you tanky up. So you can, it's not like you have to like hard farm your Bloodstone, ignore your team. You can go fight and still get your Bloodstone at a good timing.
Yeah, and the timing for it is so early too. Like, the average timing is around minute 15, and we see all these really impactful items come out around minute 15. The average Wraith Pack timing, I believe, on heroes like Broodmother are minute 15. For this Bloodstone is minute 15.
And speaking of timings, I like this ban on Io. You know, hero that we haven't seen played much. I think only one game. Yeah, one game only. And this is the hero that can mess up with the timings, because Io Leshrac has been super popular, especially as Dire, because it gives you infinite mana. It does allow you to have a partner to run at the lanes and just disrupt. So you can potentially like get more farm, get more levels, and also like take a fight 2 minutes before when enemy carry or a mid laner does not have a BKB, which can make a lot of difference.
Yeah, for sure. And they have run it before on LGD during the group stages. So Beastcoast were definitely prepared for that and just eliminated it.
Disruptor is another hero we've seen become more and more valuable as the group stage and main stage has progressed. Now,
why is that?
I think the little bit of damage that comes on Glimpse is actually fairly impactful. It makes it like already
good to play.
Yeah, already you wanted to max that ability, but it still kind of felt bad because you wanted the Q, so you're not like useless. It felt like it was a non-damage dealing support when it comes to the fight. But also, the ult is insane now. It's huge, and the extra second, like, you really feel it. We've seen people get tossed out of the Disruptor kinetic field and then still die, even though with the mistake, they still die because it's just so huge that the person can't run out of it in time before it despawns.
But not only that, the issue with Disruptor was he did get a couple of nerfs in the last year. I played this hero a lot, so it's very sad because there goes my Mamari, you know? But you used to just have to get only 2 points in his Q in order to be able to do damage and have impact in the lane. But the Q got nerfed significantly, and now if you actually want to play in that same style, you have to put 3 points in it. But if you're playing Disruptor, you want to max your Glimpse. You don't want to put 3 points in a spell that is barely going to give your team that much impact early on. And it's actually really cool because you can get so many of these kills on lane simply by maxing Glimpse. If the offlaner runs away from the creep wave, you just bring him back, you do an extra, 150 damage, and then your carry can kill him. And that plus 150 damage in the early game, in the laning stage, makes a huge difference.
It is. And looking at this Crystal Maiden focusing, so that means that Tiny is going to be, I mean, Tiny can be still played as an offlane for Beastcoast because they do love to flex a lot of the heroes. But looking at the carry, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some old school Jug plus CM action, or maybe even Bloodseeker. I wouldn't mind seeing Bloodseeker because like just having a strong lane could mess up with PSG Lgd's timings. Like, strong lanes, Nyx Assassin definitely not a strong laner, but if paired up with some other offlaner, yeah, okay, it's going to be Mars for now.
Mars for now, indeed, and an instant lifestealer. That was a telegraphed lifestealer with the Venom and the Bat ban. I would imagine that is not a surprise coming for Beastcoast.
I like this Lifestealer a lot, actually. It's good against every single one of Beastcoast's heroes so far, and it pairs up well with Disruptor in the safe lane. Usually you can go Corrosion on Lifestealer. You don't want to unless you know you can get these kills, but you can just pick up something like that, and then with the Glimpse that we were talking about, can set up for a lot of kills on either the Nyx or the Mars early on. But also Lifestealer is a carry who does lack a little bit of damage up until he gets his Armlet and his Deso or whatever build that they tend to go for. But you're also playing with a Marcy, right? You get the free damage from Sidekick, which allows you to hit the Lifestealer timings 2 or 3 minutes earlier, which is incredibly valuable, as Lacoste mentioned how important it is to disrupt or be able to play on these timings.
And you need to have a hero that Lifestealer is afraid of, something that goes through magic immunity, because like these heroes, he's really not threatened. There is a save from RC, there is a Glimpse, like there's potentially a lot of ways to protect the Lifestealer, not necessarily a real save, but these spells do a lot for Lifestealer. So I'm still thinking about the Juggernaut. Maybe, I know that K1's not a big fan of Ursa, but it could work.
Slark's an Ursa alternative that does kind of a similar thing. It's less good against the Disruptor, but
yes, Slark into Disruptor Lashrak might be a bit difficult.
Bloodseeker still feels pretty good.
Yes,
BKB,
for sure.
BKB piercing for the Lifestealer as well. It's just, it does feel like a lot of melee so far.
Guys, it would be so cool if PSG Lgd picked Spirit Breaker here, because we've seen the Spirit Breaker and Lifestealer combo pop off so much, but I know that Xiao8 is a huge fan of the hero.
He is.
He's not playing mid though. It's nothing to say.
It doesn't matter. It's his personal favorite hero, so I'm sure he's maybe potentially discussed it, because we've seen it be impactful in Liquid Series, we've seen it be impactful with Tundra, and we've seen how good these two heroes are in unison together right now. And also, the charge plus the Glimpse gives you a lot of vision, so let's do it. Bring out the cow. Come on. Where would you put him, though?
Faith Beyond, I think, would probably have to play it. He's not played it yet, but also he's played like basically every hero every offlaner in Dota, so...
Ursa is going to be the last ban coming out for Psg Lgd. As mentioned, that would have been a good one against Lifestealer. So we'll see which one Beastcoast goes for, if that will indeed be the Slark. Anybody having some potential, very small chance to smell mid-Slark? That was a long time ago, though, so I doubt that's going to happen. But
then we'd have to see like a carry tiny. I think, is Drow banned? I feel
Drow is not banned.
I feel like Drow can still be good for them. Kite the Lifestealer, silence the Lifestealer. Lesh also is a hero that like runs into you. Drow can just kite Lesh and stay out of the range of the ult.
I think I still feeling Juggernaut because it's a safe pick. I know that K1 doesn't like Morphling a lot. That could have been an option. Not so good against the Disruptor, but having a free BKB when you turn into Lifestealer. I think the other one is Terrorblade. The carry-to-carry matchup is good. Good against the Lashrak as well. Oh, you forgot about this hero. I actually forgot this hero was not banned.
The thing about the Void in this game is it's not as terrifying as the last one because it doesn't have the Snapfire to play with.
Yes,
we saw
it does
how
have Tiny though.
Yeah, but Tiny needs a little bit of time to get that tree volley, right? But we saw how impactful Hector was able to be early on, especially when LGD took that first rush, because he had the damage to follow up on his Chrono early. This time around, it's going to take a little bit more time to bust out that really big damage for the Chrono. So
he's got to farm.
So it's going to be a more farm-intensive kind of game from Beastcoast, which kind of allows LGD to snowball off their Lifestealer timing if they do get the last pick here. And if you notice, they ban out the Ursa and the 12 Warlord, so they're probably just protecting whatever melee offlaner comes out of them.
Also, Faceless Void into Disruptor can be a difficult matchup sometimes. You know, pre-BKB, you time walk. If they have vision, Glimpse back, and then you're going to be food for heroes like Lashrak.
And if you are charged at the same time, there will be vision for teams.
Is Slardar banned? It's not banned, right?
Slardar is
Isn't
not
it just
banned.
Slardar again? You get the Slardar Lifestealer combo, hero to run in, stun people for Lash.
With minus armor coming out.
Yeah, minus armor, yeah. Marcy Slardar sounds pretty good against it. Beats Void in lane, or, you know, does well against Void in lane. It's just, it didn't feel that great in the previous game, so maybe they're feeling against it for that reason.
You know what? I'm down for some bench off lane.
Oh, okay.
New hero, Joseph Frey.
All right.
Okay, so I think that the logic behind this axe is that they want the BKB piercing disable to just be able to play all the time, right? They don't want to have to worry about any kind of timing, especially coming out of the void. And if you have this axe Berserker's Call to play against, it should be relatively simple. Yeah, the hero isn't what it used to be, but I think for something like that, it can accomplish a lot. Also, guys, don't forget that this team lost to Collapse's axe in Arlington when that hero wasn't in meta 2. And it was also a game that was for a lot of stakes, right? It was the finals. So maybe they just took a little bit of a lesson from Spirit there and are gonna carry it on to this game.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
Definitely. In the first game, I didn't lean any way, but I'm going to give a slight advantage to Psg Lgd this time around, because this lineup doesn't have any cooldowns. Like, they are going to be able to punish the Chronosphere, especially if it's not placed well, potentially threaten the Roshan. I like what they got. And in the Fast Bomb, followed up by Leshrac, by a Disruptor, it's a very strong lineup. It's also very early game-oriented lineup, with Leshrac being the mid laner.
I agree, and I think Beastcoast's damage is quite limited for the early game. Funnily enough, most of the damage is going to be coming out of their Crystal Maiden alongside the Tiny up until they can get a couple of items up. So I think that Psg Lgd are tanky, they're faster, and they can play earlier.
Are they going to have a third game here?
I hope so. I would give a slight edge to LGD as well, but I think Beast Coast also does have some potential to win the lanes and snowball from that where they won't lack damage. But LGD slight edge.
LGD slight edge. All right, we're going to find out soon if we can maybe get a couple of words in from Xiao before the game begins. But from my panel, from what we hear so far, we might be able to hear him later on as well, because my panel believes in the draft of Psg Lgd more well-rounded this time around compared to previous game. More chances to fight early on in the game. And who doesn't love some action-packed Dota 2? I think everybody loves some action-packed Dota 2, especially Slacks, who's now standing by with Xiao.
Absolutely. I do love some action-packed Dota 2, Shiver. I am here with Jin and Xiao, of course. Gentlemen, an incredible first game. They had the Faceless Void last time. It, won. Do you think you have enough differences in this draft to make sure it doesn't happen again? Of course, maybe we'll see a Marcy whip somebody out of the Chrono, potentially.
包你好，前面一把打得相当精彩，虽然惜败了。然后上一把你们是输给了虚空，然后这把你认为你的 BP， 他们又选了虚空，你认为你的 BP 有没有做出适当的调整？以及包括这次你们选了马西，是否有点是在依赖马西把这个队友给甩出来？
哦，没有啊，因为他们虚空就没有别的输出点，虚空罩大只能靠自己输出，感觉他们虚空选的不太好。
This game we feel that the Faceless Void doesn't have any additional supports or additional firepower from the team that can assist him in his chrono. So this game we felt that the Faceless Void pick wasn't that good from the team.
Okay, fantastic. And real quick, why Axe? We haven't seen much of this hero.
最后一个问题就是为什么选斧王呢？这个英雄我们目前基本上没见到过。
因为斧王是 Face 边的绝活，然后他夺冠一手。
Axe is Faith Bian's his best hero, so we're counting on him to win.
All right, fantastic. Well, we are counting on them to win as well for potentially a Game 3. All excited here in the arena. Let's get ready and send it over to our casters.
Thank you so much, Slacks, and already a bit of a battle occurring here in the jungle. They're saying that Faith Beyond's best hero is Axe, and well, he's already been able to bully a couple of these heroes out of the pool. Again, joined by Trent and Gunnar. You guys, we saw them bully back. Doesn't look like there's going to be any first bloods as we are already into the laning stage. They talked about not having that extra firepower with the Chronosphere. Is there anything else that you're seeing in the draft that you like?
Well, I mean, one thing we were talking about during the draft was like who it was going to be at the end, right? Who are you saving this for? And it comes out Faith Beyond, right? What's the storyline been for LGD? What have people been talking about? He's leaving, right? So the supposed retirement after this. So it comes down to him, down here, potential last chance, the Axe. We were looking for a crazy hero. I wasn't expecting this one.
No.
Hey, making his own story here, right? Axe, I think Axe is a silent hero throughout the year and can make a lot of noise at TI. It's one of the team fight heroes with catch, stun.
Yeah. The whole game too, right? You don't have to worry about those BKBs that of course have become so prevalent at all stages of the game with our various refreshers and Ex Machinas.
Even the refresher Axe.
Yeah, constant.
Totally.
Well, you can see that he's off to a decent start down there bottom. It's going to be interesting to watch how that one plays out. And of course, as you said, the hero that definitely has made its name on the big stage. One of the most iconic games for it was against LGD way back at TI8 with Seb playing that one. But now Faith Beyond's going to have to make it work here as Beastcoast already up 1 game over, again, the defending runners-up. You're going to be zoned back a bit.
I do agree with the Faces Void problems too, though, because I think that was very important for how they were able to really enable Hector. I mean, he went Midas, right? And he still have to pick up some kills and be involved a little bit because of the Snapfire. And Crystal Maiden's short. It's a lot of damage like during the chrono, but it's not the same. You know, obviously it's so much easier to do with Snapfire. We all know how slow Crystal Maiden is. It can be very hard to get anywhere near chrono.
Yeah, and, the Tiny builds recently have involved even just going Blink into the Axe very fast. As your first 2 items. So at some point in the game, they will have damage with the tree volley. But last game, it was a level 6 support. That's all they needed. They would always get double kills every single chrono, but now you're asking to wait for 7,000 gold on your mid Tiny just to kill with chrono.
That's going to be a tough one. We'll see if that actually happens. But the other hero that has not seen a ton of success here at TI, as we do see Chris Luck get hit a couple of times. There's C-Smile throws nothing to say away, has been this Mars, like a 30% win rate or something like that across the whole rest of the tournament. But for Whisper, he played 1 game, he won 1 game. He is incredibly comfortable on this hero.
Just hit your spear, you know? It's fine, you know? How hard can it be?
They nerfed the hero a lot. They lost 15 damage with W versus heroes at all levels. So its laning stage was very abusive.
Okay, pro player. 15 damage? That sounds like an excuse.
There's a crit as well.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough. It used to be very stable in the lanes, and now it's able to lose lane a lot more, and also just BKBs just keep getting stronger and stronger, so anytime you don't have spells that deal with BKB, you're stunned faster than BKBs.
Gojira going down and dropping. Whisper can't get there in time to save, so Ame gonna draw first blood.
All right, we'll see what Gojira can do this game on the Nyx Assassin. You know, speaking of numbers, of course, with heroes, Nyx Assassin's been very good this tournament, having a very solid time. And the hero that, when we talked this morning, you and I, Lyrical, thought would be extremely popular today, especially with Beastcoast playing group. And I don't know, it picked very early in this one, but definitely has some good opportunities with the Carapace throughout it.
Saw there as well. Tiny did not get the bottle refill, but doesn't matter. Looks for the stun, able to find it. Quick punch for the kill. So a little bit of help mid. Sets him up in Stinger, trying to get some separation from Faith Beyond, hiding off in the trees. A Battle Hunger, and she's gone. But is she actually quick enough to get away from him? Does manage to escape Stinger. With the voice line, gets out of trouble.
This might be the second time he walks to base, but actually he has 5 tangos. He's got a lot of regen queued up. He's going to go eat some trees, come back to the lane. Hector's been having a good game. He had a really nice game last game, obviously. I think the biggest difference as well for Beastcoast is Whisper's having a way better lane than last game, at least in the terms of CS.
Yeah, he's like doubling up his CS from the previous match right now, and also pulling the wave all the way back here, so going to be getting plenty of these. Not a support this time from the side of LGD that can really do much about that.
Another toss back on mid?
Too busy mid.
Ooh, not long enough range. That nerf to the range on toss might have been enough to get the kill with the Nyx otherwise.
It seemed like a little miscommunication. Gojira was walking backwards. He thought it was on him, but it was on the creep. Probably not leaded to a kill, even if they perfectly communicated, but just the nerfs, right? Every time it gets a little stronger, but the concept of the spells and what they do provide, Tiny just consistently been a good hero.
Displacement, like the best thing in Dota.
Magnus
like
last year.
Yeah.
These things work well together. We'll get a Spike Carapace Sun into another one, chasing forward. If they can get Faith Beyond, this would be big. We'll go for the call. Couple more punches coming through, and we'll get a few more spins along the way. Stinger's not careful. He might have gone down, but they do manage to bring him. And in fact, underneath the tower, LGD make a solid move with that Marcy rotating.
You know, sometimes you die under the tier 1, sometimes you get killed under the tier 1. That's
true.
The enemy, right?
That's what happens when you constantly toss people back into you. Someone has to die. Someone made the wrong choice. So again, there's just a lot of mid pressure. A lot of times teams just want to bring multiple heroes mid to just keep diving the tower, get secure their runes, and the mid lanes have a lot of impact in terms of the early game right now, so it's very important just to secure this. And now, hopefully, Nothing to Say will get this bot rune and they'll take the 50-50. Nice glimpse.
Yeah, and that one is going to be the Arcane. So again, C-Smile spamming out those voice lines as LGD Still looking good on the Axe. 31 last hits right now. Having a very nice time against K1 on the Faceless Void. Does look like he could maybe go in for a Midas again. We'll see if it happens or not, as the call was there. Gets a couple spins, forces out the jump away.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who starts these moves off in this game as well, right? Like for the side of LGD, you're assuming it's pretty much
Vi,
right?
Well, they maybe can bring him down. Gets the hit, gets pushed back to lane. That's a one-way ticket.
That's what you want. But aside from that, like we got Marcy and then perhaps eventually Fitbeyond, depending on his blink timing. That's when he can start things moving inside of LGD. Then on Beastcoast, it's that Mars who has struggled a little bit, and the level 6 on the Nyx Assassin, as we assume that this Tiny is, again, going to need just like a little bit more time.
Yeah, he's going for the phase boots on Tiny. Sometimes we'll see them go Brad boots in the blink, but it looks like he's going to play more towards being able to be quick on the map, run around, get combos off on heroes, because he doesn't have the greatest kill threat on the Lifestealer either. You're not going to see any rotations top unless, you know, I think it has to be a Spirit Catch. So
yeah,
probably towards mid, towards bot. Killing Faith Beyond over and over is going to have a lot of impact, because again, like you said, they need the blink on Faith Beyond to have these really fast early game moves.
Seen a lot of mid lane being held by Gojira on that Nyx Assassin, which has been pretty nice, as Hector is going to get ran down a little bit here by Faith Beyond again.
Yeah, and Faith Beyond, of course, whenever you're playing this Axe, one thing that you love to do is you get this really early Vanguard, and you want your supports to stack up those Ancients, because they're just super easy, it's very free to farm, and great way to get towards that blink. Oh, he got a combo. That's going to make sure he can't get the time wall.
Oh, barely brings him down. Faith Beyond comes in the clutch. That is the power of Marcy. You pair it with Axe, it's dangerous.
It was very close, and on mid, a toss on Gojira.
Can't quite get him back.
Mana burn.
Yeah, now he's just out though. He's going to run on home. It's kind of like Ace, of course, you know, kept getting EMP'd in his match, and the Underlord running all the way back, you know. Nothing to say, getting sent back as well.
LGD already off to a very hot start. Not just CS, look at that net worth lead, 3,000 at 8 minutes.
Positioning under the tower, like there's two TPs in.
They're going. Chrono going to be used. Marcy under control. Why is there? Going to send back Gojira. I don't know if they have the damage for this. They might get one kill.
They have the TPs. It's okay.
A lot of them. Avalanche toss, a couple more punches, but nothing to say also shows up. See Smile in some trouble, will get stunned, but that's just to try and get some separation. As they toss in the CM, Stinger is going to be left to the walls. See Smile, what are you doing? Oh no, Arena down though. They're just trying to keep the fight going a little bit longer. Faith Beyond, do they have the damage for this? I'm not so sure. Arena breaks, Spear goes down. A whole lot of action going on as 10 heroes down bottom. LGD, they're coming out on top.
The 5-hero swarm assembles down here. They delay the fight with the Chrono. TPs come from Beastcoast, TPs come from LGD, and a tower push at 9 minutes with everybody showing up.
That's 3,000 gold. When so many heroes keep showing up, someone's losing a lot of gold. No one's farming. Whoever wins the fight just gets everything. That's why usually you'll see one hero kind of gets left behind to farm creeps top, mid, somewhere, but it's a big commitment.
The mana burn.
Find another. See Smile, Avalanche trying to get out of there, and it looks like he will. Don't want to chase that much further. Gojira now in, and he's going to be the sacrifice. LGD just holding hands together in the jungle. They keep finding kills.
You're getting these glimpses. You have Marcy jumping up ahead. They have so much reach and catch right now at this point. When you're hitting the level 2 glimpses, you know you're having a really good disruptor game. It feels like it's so hard to actually make moves this early on, and gonna get another stack up on the Ancients. There is a ward here from Beastcoast. They know that an Axe wants to do this, but they're not in a position to contest this at all. So they're just gonna have to watch with their own vision as he farms this.
They don't have the greatest heroes to provide a lot of damage with the Tiny. It's pretty much just his combo. Gojira doesn't have crazy damage until Vendetta. Stinger doesn't also have the greatest damage. A lot of them are these bursts of like tiny amounts of damage. And the LGD has 2 strength cores. They don't die to these nukes.
See this brain here? The trusty shovel gets the kobold for
the more
spin, you know.
I like it, I like it. Yeah, Blink Dagger done at 10 minutes though. Faith Beyond's having an amazing game. Again, this guy, he's talked about it, said that this is going to be his last year playing Dota, and on potentially his elimination game, they're giving him this Axe. He's completely controlling it.
They were trying to come in here and hold this high ground, I think, thinking that there might be like a move coming through, right? And they're beginning to scout now. Trying to grab Y.
Avalanche wants to toss back, gets it onto one, but the call, the interrupt, will it be enough? See Smile, they get 1 kill onto the Disruptor, immediately have to run away. Gojira, mana burn, Stinger also there, looking for the slow, but the dunk, it's queued up, it's coming, trying to separate, still living, and gets a little juke. Where'd he go? He went behind the tree, jumps in, Faith Beyond, he says no.
He let him think he was getting away with it, you know, but the Blink Dagger makes sure he'll have that cleanup as long as someone keeps the vision on him. And, well, deja vu here. We got another Midas coming.
Why TP's top drops the ward, tries to get the glimpse back on the Mars, but unfortunate, there's a little fog. Whisper gets out.
Yeah, that whole time while that fight was occurring down bottom, there wasn't a Mercy. Unusual in these early engagements because Zinky was getting some space on the lane, so now level 6 has Phase Boots, has the Orb of Venom. Pretty strong Marcy at this point, trying to enable all of these early ganks that they want to go for.
Marcy's one of the best supports right now to get a lot of gold. The BKB timing is still crazy on this year, the amount of damage it can output. A lot of the times we'll see it have a rough one, and it just kind of ends up being more of a sidekick, but he has max rebound, he's having a pretty good game, he queues up the BKB, so we'll probably see at some point, maybe he even kills the core, just by himself in the fight.
It's definitely a chance. We've seen that hero just completely pop off. As K1.
It's only level 3, unfortunately. Level 4, he's got the range for it.
Can't quite get there. But they are still threatening this mid tower. And with this type of a lead that they're having early on, I'm not sure if Beastcoast have the answers yet. Very, very scary. And LGD, they're just going as, you know, a stack of 5 around the map, taking objective after objective.
I think this is where kind of the draft talked about the Void for his last game.
Yeah.
There's no snap for these Chronos.
And there it is, the call, the connection, and Whisper dead. All it takes is a second. LGD keep the train going. And, well, Y is there. Gonna get hit with the ulti. A little avalanche coming through, and Ame lifted up in the air. He's trying to get away from there. They have no way to catch him, though, so Ame will escape.
He's going for the riskiest infest save.
Yeah, maybe it would work. On a support.
Drops it. Chrono down. The Midas first on his way through, but Marcy gonna get found. Impale off the marks and Q. He gets away.
Wow. That feels bad.
Top tower is under attack.
He got the Midas.
He got the Midas.
I gotta respect that, you know.
I've never seen that before. Chrono into Midas. What a play.
I mean, that creep wasn't going anywhere.
That's true.
Ain't that much.
Yeah, so this is last game. You can compare this to last game where the Void, he had the same items, he chronoed, but they would get 2 kills every chrono. This game, neither of his supports do damage. Mars doesn't do damage. Tiny does some damage, but it's not enough. No one's really dying on the side of LGD besides Y.
Yeah, and Whisper time and time again has been this go-to person for the team when they're in these situations. And that death up top really hurting him as he's trying to get towards that Blink Dagger. Lamar's really the hero that can try and get them a turnaround, a good fight, but he's not ready yet.
See Smile, throws out the avalanche. Supposed to blink. Trying to get some separation here. Is going to be glimpsed back. Y finds him. The stun, it connects onto Ame. No more mana, no rage, but no problem. Faith Beyond again cleaning up. I mean, it's pretty clear what it is that Beastcoast have to do at this point. Dodge to the best of their abilities and maybe find a pick-off, but they need to wait for later.
Beastcoast is, they're struggling to connect their cores right now. They're almost always, it's only one core to play. It's like a core 2 supports, it's a core just alone getting jumped. And they're struggling because they don't really have they don't feel like they have the damage. And always issue is that that's where you split up and you're like, we need our items. And that's why they're kind of sitting in 3 different lanes constantly. And it's pretty much just going to be a question of when do they feel confident enough to group up and actually take a fight. And every time you die, it just feels like that goes a little farther and farther away of when you feel comfortable doing that.
And we have this sort of like term or a way to describe a couple heroes in Dota in terms of like, they feel really good when they're ahead. And LGD, they kind of have like 4 of those heroes now, I would say. You know, like Leshrac, Axe, Marcy, Disruptor. They just want to like run around the map, take down some towers with your Leshrac. Axe just jumping and dunking on whatever target he can get. And Zinq with the freedom to just hop wherever you want with these early rebound builds. Not really having someone that benefits that much from the sidekick right away.
There are 2 big timings that are coming out right now, though. Whisper, Blink Dagger done. See Smile, Blink Dagger done. So with this quad core running around and Faceless Voids showing up top, they might be able to make something happen.
But there's a Bloodstone. That's a tanky Leshrac, you know? That's a Life Stealer. It's an Axe. These are not the easiest targets core-wise.
The other issue is they have 1 round of spells. That's it. They don't do really consistent damage throughout the fight. So, like you said, if they don't kill the Leshrac, a Bloodstone pop, they'll be full health.
Up top, K1, sensing danger was coming his way, is already backing out of there. and they won't be able to find him. It might have been TPing in vision.
We might start seeing some of those like glimpse wards come out in these situations when they're trying to run away from you.
Nothing to say, just running in. They're ready to go. Frostbite, Faith Beyond, still looking for the chase. Abba, toss, spear, dead.
Okay.
Got him.
Oh, and he didn't want to jump in.
Round 2 of this one, can they bring him down? Whisper is there, has a spear from up on the high ground. But the Marcy jumps in and immediately explodes one. Gonna dunk 2, pulls in K1, has to run away. But chase is coming, they got him caught. K1 done.
See Smile as well, brought back.
Oh, they keep on falling. Another one in the area. C-Smile does manage to TP out of there, but LGD, they came to play in game 2.
Well, it started so well, too, actually managing to get the last right, but they had to commit everything that they had at that point. And then the chrono, like, maybe if they had just ran after that chrono, there was a hope, because Faith Beyond would be able to chase down, but now Gojira trying to get away with the Vendetta.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen there. Spike Carapace running out with a bunch of heroes in tow and having him right on target. This is going to be some more armor in for Faith Beyond.
Okay, though.
Okay, they got one kill.
Delayed for
Why? Okay, maybe not.
Showing up.
Smile. Marcy, spear back. Got him. Whisper. Finding a target, but Marcy gets out. Can they bring down Faith Beyond? Hector just hitting creeps. They don't have nearly enough damage, it feels like, to bring him down. Seek Smile. Avatar's dead. Beastcoast, they extend the fight and manage to make something out of nothing.
And that's all from the fancy footwork of that Nyx assassin, right? Gojira's got 6 feet. Makes it a little bit harder to track him down.
Oh, it's also, I think, the Crystal Maiden. It kind of is showing the power of how long it can... If you don't jump her, she has so many slows, she has Frostbite. She just keeps kiting out the fight. And as we said, Beastcoast is kind of purely on spells. They by 2 blinks, they're pure mobility. They don't have any damage. They don't have any kind of sustained stand there, no BKB right clickers. So they have to play in the cooldowns of their spells. And the CM kind of enables both the Mars and the Tiny to just keep getting constant rounds of spells because LGD can't escape.
Yeah, and it turns out there is a good reason, I guess, for being super slow, unfortunately. Those low cooldowns, right? If you can keep that perfect positioning, the fight, the constant spam just feels so good on the hero. So we just, cut her at the knees over and over again.
Whichever team starts being on the back foot in these fights is going to have a hard time. If LGD has a glimpse, they have Marcy to chase, and Beastcoast just have so many stuns and slows that they're just going to keep constantly getting rounds of spells off.
50 on try, but not enough fast enough pace from the damage there.
Another Life Stealer bomb.
The blink off first.
Looks for it. Why? It's going to run right into one. There is the Disruptor ulti down. CM, a lot of armor from the ulti, but it won't be enough. Whisper, Glimpse has already been used. They chase. Faith Beyond looking, but he gets the blink off in time. Where the damage ticks come in. So LGD claim another life. Right now, 6 stacks of that Culling Blade armor for Faith Beyond, and they're just keeping that pressure moving.
The entire time, nothing to say, he's just farming. Other side of the map. He has the Ogre axe, and he has a Boots travel queued up. No,
oh my.
These Beastcoast blinks.
See Smile just trying to escape. There's so many ways to catch him, though. Eventually, he's going to get ran down. So they'll bring down the Tiny. LGD immediately heading off towards the Roche pit.
Yeah, as I said, though, nothing to say farming up. He was like the lowest in terms of their little tri-core they've got going on. Now he's starting to catch back up, taking that trinity of strength right now towards that Roche pit. Grab this Aegis here, and I mean, probably for nothing to say. I'm sure they can throw it on anyone, honestly, and it's going to be okay.
I think the other 2 cores, Ame and Faith Beyond, are really tanky. It's pretty unlikely for them to die. Faith Beyond took, what, 3 rounds of spells from Tiny just to take him down on the mid lane, so nothing to say. He's going to walk up, make space for the Infest Bombs on the Axe. Marcy to be able to jump in on him, so...
I thought it would be nothing to say, too. So I thought they would want to hide Faith Beyond with the Infest Bomb, but they actually handed over to Ame instead. I guess Ame's now going to play maybe on the Radiant side a lot.
Nothing to say. He's probably just going to farm the back jungles. He's not really going to show as much or be jumped. Use the Bloodstone, just farm his BKB, hit his timings.
In comparison to where Ame's sitting right now in the Radiant Ancients.
Ame is not afraid. That is one thing I've learned.
It's taking gold, taking the enemy jungle is pretty much it's negative gold for the enemy team. You're farming their camps, and you're getting the same amount of gold you would get from your side, but now the other team's not getting anything. So it's just really good when you are able to kind of take the map away from them.
Well, they are doing that indeed, and LGD all across it, farming out everything that they can get their hands on.
It's good to have the North American pro player here to talk about farming jungle.
Yeah,
it is what our region is best at. We are well known for just not really doing a whole lot on the map, but ensuring that those neutral creeps die.
Why you got to do that too soon, man? Unbelievable. Well, 9-15, Spear down, the call to turn, and Whisper in some trouble. C-Smile throws out one salvo of spells, Zinq living through it. Whisper is in trouble and going to die, and in fact, they picked a fight with the wrong combo. Gojira tries to move into position, stun is there, and K1 moves. Where's the damage? Do they have enough? The CM ulti actually brings down Faithbeyond.
Nice hold on the Chrono, too. Not wasting it there. No panic in terms of a turnaround play there, maybe from the Marcy or something.
This game's been a lot slower from Hector, but I think a lot of it is mostly in the back of just his draft. The team doesn't have the nukes to throw in Chrono, so he's having to put a lot more emphasis on his own farm compared to the last game. And
not enough down here. Ame is completely alone.
It's actually so strange to see a team stall out a lead after losing Aegis. Like, they haven't really grown it very much right now.
Oh, they can't quite get him.
Nice rage.
Ame had some sad memories by this tower, but he's making good ones here. Gojira chased, does go in, brings the kill their direction. LGD not willing to give up this lead that they've been building.
9,000 gold, 21 minutes in the game. It's feeling a little tough, a little scary. Beastcoast still, they have strong spells. Every single one of their heroes spells. They don't have these heroes who, need a lot of items to fight.
Oh, I know.
Just Hector.
I know this one. I know what's good versus spells. BKBs.
There it is.
That one's good, right?
Are the BKBs coming out for LGD soon?
They are coming out pretty soon. We gotta watch. I mean, this is the window, right? As you said, they have the spells on Beastcoast, so if they're gonna try and find something, it's a sliver of time between Aegis and BKBs here for them.
Oh, big opening as Faithbeyond brazenly running forward, and the smoke to TP out is going to occur. As you can see, Beastcoast dodge away. Whisper still hiding out. The scan connects. That might make him think that he TP'd away. He's still, in fact, in the area. Spear shows.
Oh, down bottom at the same time. That's a fresh BKB.
That is a big one. Zinq goes down. Faithbeyond trying to make something of it. Y catches with the arena, looking for the bigger target. He wants Hector. Faithbeyond leaves C-Smile behind to find the bigger prize, and Gojira dead too. The glimpse, they had all the time in the world. C-Smile tries to TP out. Not gonna happen. LGD keep this going.
This is one of those games you're going to watch and you're going to go queue up Disruptor later, and it might not look this good. This is one of the best situations you can be on this hero. You have all this follow-up damage. All you got to do is bring him back to the fight afterwards. You're so far ahead, keeping the snowball rolling, and now right onto the high ground with a Leshrac.
His static storms have also been amazing. He always is catching the tiny specifically. He'll wait just as the tiny blinks in, catches him, breaks up the combo with the silence, and it's just really hard to play into.
Oh, and they find him. Another kill here as CM did not stand a chance. LGD, they just keep running at them. Jump spear, looking for it. Do they have enough for the Leshrac? Arena down. A good stun. Gojira there. Can they get the kill? Nothing to say. Living through. He's getting out of there. He's starting to get brought down, though. Hector on top and finds Ame. Almost gets the kill. Ame, he survives. They bring down the Aegis now. They were waiting for it. They were hoping for a bigger hit, but it's not going to be there. Spear, connection, a glimpse back onto one. C-Smile in far, tossing it to his teammates, trying to keep himself alive, but it won't happen. The Rock Man is brought down, and LGD still standing tall.
They're running out of gas here on Beastcoast.
Hoping for something, anything. Ame. Oh my God! That one hurt. The taunt, the spear, the connection. Hector trying to survive through this. They've left for a very long time, though. Wait a minute. C-Smile, the rest of Beastcoast, are they doing it? It doesn't quite look like it. Hector backs away.
Raging too?
They keep the chase going. Another spear. It comes too late. The rage is out. Ame still lives. Faithbeyond very low. They're keeping the damage on him to break the blinks. Gojira with the stun. Are they actually doing this? Beastcoast, they find another. Gone. How? They won that fight.
It just kept going. The fight just continues. They stand by. They feel like maybe they can't get away. That's a massive gain for Beastcoast right now. Almost a 4K, actually over a 4K swing there with a couple of buybacks spent from Beastcoast. Lots of experience, of course, being piled into these heroes right now. I mean, it's going to be a long replay.
Very long fight. Nothing to say. It looks like he's going to live. He gets the Bloodstone off the very last second. He heals off that creep wave. You can see how strong the item is right here when he lives.
But
I actually can't believe he lived so long. And then, like, the chrono comes out right after that, too. And, yeah, I guess it really was just... You only have so much at this point, right? It is only 25 minutes of the game. This is a little bit earlier than you'll see most teams head to that high ground. Trying to rely on the damage of a Leshrac, I would say, to, like, bring this down early. And then this, right, where they jump back in after. They keep it going on the come up there.
Zincu looks like he's going to die, but he gets the life steal from Sidekick in his ult. And at this point, hold that thought.
They'll find another. Gojira. This is a kill onto the Nyx Assassin. I think, no. Doesn't get lucky with the spin, but they'll find him with the dust. So that is a pickup that they need as the lead was brought down to just 6K. They'll find Stinger here. Why still in the area as the CM brought into the embrace of Faith Beyond on that axe. 11 stacks now. The calling armor.
This doesn't make the game just like suddenly even or anything, right? They got these kills, but what it does to me is that like, I feel like now there's actually a real chance there's a fight with the Tiny Eggs and on the a more even footing than I would have expected just a few minutes ago. And so for Beastcoast, that's got to be the goal for them right now.
Yeah, I think all they need is the Tiny Axe and maybe even a DD. He has one right now, but fortunately, no.
He's got to farm really fast.
He has to get in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It feels
Zinq, no chance there for the kill. And appreciating the TP out there by Whisper, who's able to survive through it. What an insane game that we've had so far, an insane series. And LGD, they just felt so invincible, and they really weren't. After enough time, the buybacks, you will lose that fight if it keeps going. So BKB blink on that Mars. You can see the damage numbers done. This is going to be amplified that much further if we actually get into the Aghanim Scepter for the Tiny. Next couple of minutes going to be pivotal. And LGD, again, they have to win this game to keep their TI hopes alive.
Yeah, and if you're Beastcoast right now, you're hoping for a longer spawn on this Roche, right? Maybe there's a chance that you actually have the Aghanims by the time it comes up. Get like that full 3 minutes here, but we'll find out in 10 seconds. It's like sort of a window they're working with.
Yeah, and the BKB's done for nothing to say, also the plate mail. And he's just really tanky now, and we're probably not going to see. The Nyx has been dealing with him really well this entire game, especially with the mana burn. You saw it last fight, I think it does 500 damage every single mana burn, burns so much mana. But now his BKB is invulnerable. He probably has a way more save from Ame being able to infest him in the fights. And also, I think Ame is probably going to try to pick up the Shard this game. It worked really well with the Leshrac, and that's probably their goal. They want the second Roche, he'll get a free Shard, he gets the Aegis, and that's, you know, again, it's the second Roche. That's the big one.
Yeah, and it wasn't the full 3 minutes, but you'll take it right now for Beastcoast. That is a bit of time there to get this Aghanims up. And they go into the pit, they smoke out, perhaps trying to bait a play here in case Beastcoast has vision of the pit.
They aren't going to, and you can also see that this extra time, it's not just an Axe for Tiny, it's also an Axe for the Nyx Assassin. Almost completed now, 400 gold away.
Crazy. I mean, that's great high ground defense. Considering the way their high ground functions on LGD, you could sort of see what happened down bottom with like how fully committed you are with a Lifestealer and an Axe. It can be very hard to get that good jump when you have this burrowed unit sitting up there.
Thankfully for the Lesh, it's still a 9-second BKB. Jumps in just a little off the mark there. Faith Beyond very close. And Infest again, Whisper gives the tip.
They're always so fast. They show up to the initial play, not infested and together, and then they instantly infest, instantly TP, try to make a play somewhere else across the map because they just showed. They give this, you know, information. They're like, the Axe is top, but he instantly TPs mid, they smoke up, and this is how you get the fast plays. Maybe on Whisper on the mid lane, maybe on Hector bot. They're going to try to look for just any kill that they can get on the map.
Have the Leshrac right there. The rest of LGD going for the wrap. We'll see if Hector is found. They see both of them on the lane. This is dangerous. Hector caught, looking for the impale. Not going to happen. An easy pickup and exactly what LGD needed. 70 seconds, no void.
Oh, he actually had buyback too. I'm not sure what happened there. But gone now.
Who, Hector?
Yeah.
200 gold
He bought out the Mjolnir recipe.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Okay.
Jump in, find another. CM dead. Just good movement. LGD, when the fights get a little bit wild, obviously they're in a really good position on Beastcoast, but when they find them in the open field, Beastcoast cannot stand toe-to-toe with LGD.
Oh, those picks are absolutely massive because they want that fight around the Roche pit with the Chrono and the Tiny Eggs, right? I mean, that's the dream scenario for Beastcoast, right? Like, to be fair, it's likely going to be a lot easier to do that fight on the high ground, especially with the Nyx Assassin Aghanims, so you could even argue that they're willing to take that fight versus the Aegis. They don't mind that much if they can delay it a little bit further, but of course, one of the best counters to the Chronosphere is always going to be that Aegis or buyback.
Also, the Ame has finished AC, so buffing everyone's up armor so the tree volley doesn't do as much as it would without, and also killing him once. That's a big task, just to do it one time.
It's true that he also doesn't have the Chrysalis either on the Tiny, which is where like this really gets stupid. So could be something that helps out here.
30 minutes in, 12K gold lead. Shiva's done on the Leshrac. But again, those big high ground defense tools that Beastcoast have. The Aghanim Scepter completed on the Nyx Assassin, obviously Chronosphere, all the rest of it.
They're going to force this tier 2 tower defense.
Yeah, he's trying to get sneaky with the Nyx Assassin. He gets pinged out. He was spotted by Ame.
Yeah, they know. Smile, they're actually defending these tier 2s. Interesting. They're not wanting to give up this map here. Looking for it. CM opening a good arena to make this happen, but the taunt is there, so no spear for the follow-up. CM already done, nothing to say. Taking through that tree volley. Whisper just tries to get out of there, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They bring down the Mars. LGD keep it going.
It really is the static from Y. They've been so good. They ruined so many of these additional plays where someone's trying to follow up like that, like Whisper jumping in early, but then there's no assistance from the supports. People can't get in and follow up as well because of that big AoE silence. And they've used all the big tools that they have right now except for that Chrono.
It also seems like a slight miscommunication. Hector is farming to the right. He was trying to get his Mjolnir from his big jungle, and his team at the same time. They're just walking in 2 different directions. He finishes Mjolnir, but his team's jumping. Yeah. It's not the same play.
Well, they're not going to rush things, at least not yet here from LGD. Still quite a bit of time left on this Aegis.
In these situations, especially for Beastcoast, it's really important that they have to do everything together. When you're ahead, you have the advantage. You can know, if Axe doesn't show up to a fight and it's 4v5, the game is just even gold-wise. That's how much gold ahead LGD is right now. So it's really important that Beastcoast is constantly.
They find him again. K1 gets the BKB on the bash. Oh man, a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill. It works out well for them. Nyx is still hidden to the side. The tree volley not doing nearly enough damage. LGD takedown 3. There are no buybacks available. They'll try and run away, but this one is looking in their hands now. What a brilliant fight in that area as they're going to head down mid, look to close this one out, and Beastcoast, where's left to go? They're going to use the BKB on Whisper, keeping himself alive. They still have a glyph available.
Yeah, that's the last one. Arcane Rune as well, too, for this Leshrac. So typically, you know, you can kind of grab the glyph, but we'll have another quick dive-all view here in a second.
You can see now again as they move up and ready to head across the map, take down this set of racks here. They're going to move from lane to lane. 20 seconds until Faceless Void is back up. 30 for the Tiny, but has more than enough time for LGD to close out these 2 lanes here. We'll see if they go for the 3rd.
This game just seems like the story that Jowie was saying before the game. Just no damage for the Void, no follow-up, no firepower, and LGD just keeps walking at them, and nothing Beastcoast can do.
I mean, we said it too, right? We're like kind of on the same level.
Yeah,
I would say.
Of course.
Yeah.
You too, Trent.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to make that really clear.
Out the CM, already in trouble. They go for the burrow, look for the stun, some mana burn maybe. Whisper still hunting. They only catch the Marcy. That's not good enough. Nothing to say. Runs on in, finds Gojira. Whisper tries to stop this damage from coming through, but the dunk is there. No more Faceless Void. Smile turns, tries to go for the tree volley, but the bash is already done. LGD are going to close this out, push it to a game number 3.
Oh, I know that's what everybody here wanted to see. Let's be honest. Crowd cheering their way to see themselves into a 1-1. We had some struggles finding game 3s as we came to the playoffs here, but we've got them now. Yeah, it's good now. We're all set.
Man, what an absolute turnaround as far as the performance is considering. I mean, you had this like game number 1, it was so back and forth, and LGD, they just came in, they looked mad, they took control of that game from the start and pretty much never let it go, except for that high ground which we won't talk about.
Just a little bit. That one. They were ahead. They won it. You know, they just wanted to keep winning more and more, but they took the win. They get this win in game 2, and they need to win more and more. They need to win game 3, right? That's the next goal. So
we'll see if they can get that done indeed as we get ready to head into this game.